I'm not sure how long this body's going to survive, to be honest. Oh, look at that flex. I'm hoping nothing breaks on this thing because it's pretty heavy and the walk of shame will be a bit, it'll suck, to be honest. Love that articulation. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. And the way it drops down then, that's so good. Look at the rear axles as well. Love it. I think this is going to be the biggest RC crawler I've had to date. We've got the Cross RC MC8. This is a 1/12 scale 8x8. It just looks absolutely awesome. Now, I did a poll on the channel months ago now, I think it was, asking what you'd like to see me review next. The thing that got the most votes was the Cross RC DC8, which is the Tatra Truck 8x8. It were out of stock when I wanted to get one and they were like $2,000 or something. I saw this on AliExpress for $540. So I was like, right, well, while I was waiting for the DC8 to come back into stock, I thought I could start with this, see what the building experience is like and see if it's worth spending like, $2,000. Now, unfortunately, a bit of AliExpress late night shopping. I did a bit of a boo-boo. I don't know if you can see, but I ordered the A version. Now, the downside to that is it doesn't come with interior and it only comes with a single speed gearbox, and I do like my 2 speeds. Now I want to get this built for the Southern Scale Trail event, which is on the 7th of September. It's currently the 22nd of August, but let's have a look in the box so you can see the kit if you're not familiar with it, and then I can get cracking with building this thing. So as you can see, it comes really nicely packaged, all the foam and everything packed in there. So let's get all that out and see what's in the box. Now I'm probably not going to know what half of this is until I actually start looking at the instructions and building it, but everything's nicely bagged up and labeled. Looks like we got our doors there and some of our like side pieces. Looks like our wheels and tires actually come pre-assembled for us. I think there's a few things in this kit that come pre-assembled, like the axles and stuff. Obviously being an 8x8, we've got 2 sets of 4 wheels. This looks like the roof piece for the top of the actual cab itself. We've got lots more pieces, side panels and stuff. I'm guessing they're probably for the rear bed. You can see our fully assembled axles in there. We'll get one out in a minute to have a closer look. We've got our drive shafts. It looks like they are possibly plastic as well, maybe metal, I'm not sure. Now this is the type of stuff I am not looking forward to, look. I mean, look at all of that, probably to make all of our like links up and everything, and yeah, I'm not a fan of building, to be honest, mainly because the time it takes, but yeah, that's going to be a lot of fiddly sitting down and probably swearing off camera. We got bags upon bags upon bags of stuff. I don't even know what's in here, to be honest. We got our spare wheel for the back as well. I've just pulled the gearbox and the motor out of the wrapping. Again, that comes nicely wrapped. So we've got I think it's a 540 45 turn brush motor there. And then there's that single speed gearbox. It's a really nice looking gearbox. I mean, I'm hoping this thing is going to look absolutely awesome. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately, no 2-speed. You never know. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe it is a 2-speed, but I'm pretty sure that's a single speed. And then in this box here, we've got the cab. So again, we've got loads more bits. It looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of painting, to be honest, as one of my pet hates is painting. But at least we got some painted jerry cans. That's a good start. Then it looks like we've got more panels. I mean, if we left this thing grey, we probably wouldn't have too much work to do. Now, we've also got this little light module as well. I'm pretty sure if you go for like the C version, it comes with a better light and sound module and like loads more lights. But, we've got something at least, and we can always add our own module for sound and stuff like that anyway. And then we've got the actual cab itself. How cool does that look? I'm really gutted I didn't get the interior. You can buy it separately. I was considering getting it. You can get it from like Green's Models for like 50 quid, but I mean, that's another 50 quid just for an interior. So yeah, I might just see if I can 3D print something in there. Really all we need is a dashboard and some seats to fit some drivers in there. So yeah, we'll see what we can come up with, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what this thing looks like. I mean, I don't like painting, but I enjoy weathering. So I was thinking about maybe going yellow or something for this. I undecided on the color yet, but yeah, we'll get it painted and then obviously we'll get it weathered as well. And then down here at the bottom, we've got lots more stuff that needs painting. So these look like all of the larger panels and everything for the rear bed. So these look like that actually looks like the rear bed itself. And then we've got like more panels. There's probably the back panel. They look like they're probably, I don't know, chassis braces or something maybe. And then we've got the actual chassis rails. Look how big those chassis rails are. That is crazy. I'm going to have my work cut out for me, I think, building this thing. So just to give you an idea of the size of this thing. So obviously we've got our cab at the front. We've got a wheel. And then that is going to be the length of the rear bed. And look, that is two 18th scale mini crawlers sat on the back of that bed. I mean, this thing is going to be massive. I cannot wait to actually see it running. It's going to be so cool. So let's have a look at a few things in a bit more detail. So we've got these nice big meaty truck tires, which they look really cool. They're firm, but they're not like insanely firm. And then you obviously got that nice kind of truck style wheel. I'm going to leave those black. I will run these. We'll see what the tires are like, but I would like to probably upgrade the wheels to something a bit heavier. Although, you know, it's a decent bit of weight on that wheel, to be fair to it. Then those drive shafts, unfortunately, are plastic, so I can see me snapping one of these. So I might need to get some metal drive shafts ordered ASAP. And then we've got the axles themselves. So they come pre-assembled, like I said. You know, they're nice, meaty looking axles, to be fair. Now, your front two axles are actually steering axles. So you can do steering on the front, and then the next axle, and then your rear two axles are just straight axles. So you've effectively got two like pass-through axles, where obviously you're going to have a drive shaft either side to give you that 8-wheel drive. And then we've got our rear axle there as well. These axles don't weigh a massive amount, to be fair, obviously with them being plastic housings. I do believe they still have metal gears in them. I was chatting to somebody at a previous event and they were saying about shimming the axles, but we'll see what they're like out of the box once we got it all assembled. And, you know, if we do need to, we will shim them out. Now, it does come with a nice chunky 48-page manual, which has got all the information in, you know, how you want to build a rig, and that looks like I got my work cut out for me there. That's the stage we want to get to. We just got a bit of work to get there. Now, I am trying to decide as well whether I want to run the side panels or whether I run it as a flatbed. I've seen both at events, seen people with it as a you know, actual full bed, and I've seen some people with it as a flatbed. I did consider doing it as a flatbed because then I could haul things around, and I also thought with a flatbed what would be kind of cool would be like, I don't know, like some crates or like a nuke or something in the back or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm undecided on that. We'll see how we go. You do also get a load of stickers as well, but they're pretty much just all the same stickers, nothing too exciting, to be honest. I did order a brushless Fusion SE for it as well, because I do want to change it from brush to brushless, so I will get that fitted as I go through assembling it. And obviously it depends on the instructions, but what I'll probably do is get the chassis assembled, show you the chassis assembled, and then I'll get the body painted, and if there's any like details or any things that kind of stand out that I had problems with or I think it's worth knowing, I'll show you those and mention those as well. But let's get cracking. Okay, chassis is assembled. It is a big old chassis, to be fair. It was actually pretty easy to build. It's probably the easiest part of the whole build, to be honest, so far. It was actually assembling the chassis. The thing that took the longest, to be perfectly honest, was doing all the links, because you've got to manually make up the links, you know, with the rod ends and everything. So yeah, it was a little bit tedious, to be honest, especially when you see how many links there are. So as you can see, we've got the Fusion SE brushless system in there. I've also fitted a 35, if it'll focus, a 35 kilogram steering servo. That was one of the things I was quite surprised at, to be honest, was the steering servo setup. I thought there would be two servos. So it's basically the one steering servo, but with like a dually servo horn. So then you've got links going to each axle. Now, one of the things I did do is, I might have read the instructions wrong, but the servo horn it's said to have on the other side, but I actually switched it to this side instead, and then basically swapped the links to opposite ends. The reason I did that is you can see how close the horn is, look, to the axles, and when you compress the suspension, it was basically hitting the steering links when it was on the other side. So yeah, I literally swapped the servo around so the horn was on this side instead, and then swapped the ends that the links were attached to the axles, and now that's got much better clearance than it was going by the instructions, if I got them right. So I did have to fiddle around with the lengths of the steering links as well to actually get a nice bit of steering angle, but it does look like, you know, I've got a fairly equal amount of steering angle on each axle. I'm looking forward to see what this is actually like. I think it'd be awesome to do 8-wheel steer, but you know, that's a job for another day. Let's actually get this thing finished first. But yeah, we've got 4-wheel steering, which is cool. The stock suspension is actually fairly stiff, to be fair. I did take apart one of the shocks and they do have oil in them, but they've also got internal springs. So I'm going to run it like this just to see what it's like. But obviously you've got these big chunky springs here as well. So what I might do is remove the internal springs from the shocks just so we get a bit more flex, because yeah, I mean, I want this thing to be a little flex. Well, I want it just to look good, to be quite honest. So yeah, I don't want it to be like really stiff. And just to show you, we do have drive as well, so we can just crawl nice and slowly with the brushless system, lovely and quiet and smooth. Again, I've tested it in the back garden, and you know, it's got a decent amount of wheel speed for a single speed with the brushless system. So hopefully it won't be too slow on the trail. It's so long, it's crazy. This is definitely the biggest thing I have had on my bench. For the rear bed, I've just gone for the flatbed. I haven't bothered doing the side panels. I'm just in the process of painting the battery box at the moment as well. You can see it's all assembled and everything underneath. I'll be completely honest, it's a long time since I've used like a plastic cement or a poly cement. So I'm hoping it lasts more than 3 seconds and doesn't completely destroy itself on like its first rollover. But yeah, I mean, it looks fairly sturdy and everything. I've still got to weather it and stuff like that, do some details on it. I've got a bit of an idea for what I want to do for the build, but yeah, we'll see. And then we got the cab itself. Bear with me, I do have a bit of an idea. So originally I was going to do like a yellow. I was kind of gutted. I painted it in this color, and then I went to a model shop the other day and I saw a fantastic looking like desert sand yellow, and I was like, ah. So yeah, but anyway, we've gone for a purple. It's kind of my color theme, to be honest. It's always been the color I like paint my wheels on my real cars and track cars and stuff. And yeah, it's what I did my Tamiya truck build and some other things. And it's one of my favorite colors, to be fair. But I appreciate it might be a bit of a strange color for this build, and I might potentially ruin the whole build. But yeah, I've got a bit of an idea of what I want to do with it. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm going to weather it and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully it'll turn out looking all right. On the bottom half, we've gone for kind of like a matte black. And then I've just painted some of the other like accessory pieces black. I've done a little bit of detailing with like the studs and stuff like that. Now, one of the things with this body that really disappointed me, to be honest, and has kind of spoiled it a bit, is this massive gap between the bottom panel and the body. Now, first of all, I thought I must be doing something wrong, but I had a look online and I can see some other people's builds are similar. Now, I appreciate when you model build something like this, you know, you've got to do a bit of manual building and stuff, but it looks to me like the actual cab, I don't know if you can see, like, but it looks like the cab is actually warped. Really, you know, it needs to, the bottom needs to come up a bit and this piece needs to come out. I don't know why you can see that, but yeah, there's that big nasty gap there. It just looks fugly in my opinion. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to see if I can like 3D print something to effectively push that panel forward. I mean, it's not going to go all the way from end to end, but at least it'll just make it look a little bit nicer, because yeah, I am not happy with that gap. It just looks horrible. Now, I haven't finished the cab yet. I haven't fitted the windows and stuff like that because I've been 3D printing my own interior. So I 3D printed this dashboard. This was actually a dashboard that I found online. I just rescaled it, changed some of the settings to try and get it as smooth as possible. I'm really happy with how that's come out. I haven't painted it or anything yet. I'm probably just going to do a bit of detailing on it and stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm really happy with how that has actually turned out. Now, you can buy the interior. Like I said, I did a bit of a boo-boo. I bought the A version, so it didn't come with the interior and stuff like that. But it was like £50, which is like, what, $70 or something just for the interior. And I thought, well, I've got a 3D printer, I might as well just print my own. So anyway, we've got this dashboard that is hopefully gonna sit in here somewhere. You probably can't see, but it's gonna sit something like that, hopefully. And then I've done some seats as well. Again, I'm really happy with how smooth these seats come out. This has been printed on my Elegoo Centauri Carbon 3D printer. Now what I did is I found these little Tatra seats online. They were tiny, absolutely tiny. So I rescaled them to about 1/12 scale. And then I can't remember the name of the app, but if I can remember it, I'll stick it on the screen. But I used a little app to then add some legs, because it didn't have any legs out of the box. It was just the top part of the seat. So I've just added some little legs on there, just trimmed them down and stuff like that. I've been farting about trying to get the height that I wanted. So the seat can sit about there. Hopefully you can see if I can move it without it falling off. Hopefully you can see. But yeah, the seat will sit about there. Driver's going to sit on top, and then the dash will be there, and the wheel will kind of, you know, just stick out. Which, speaking of said driver, is going to be Mr. Rick Grimes. I'll just see if I can get it in there so he doesn't fall off the seat to show you. He should hopefully sit somewhere around there, and then obviously I'll put his arms on the steering wheel. The Tatra seat one that I found online also came with like a pair, which I was going to stick those in there, but they're not quite big enough. So I've actually modified this to do 3 seats, again with some legs. I haven't 3D printed it yet, so I'm going to print that tomorrow. But again, that'll then sit in there. So we'll have Rick over there driving, and then we'll have the bench in there as well, which would be cool. And today my metal drive shafts turned up as well. I just ordered these off AliExpress. I've tried a few different lengths. I haven't test fitted them yet, so hopefully they work. But I got a few different lengths for it to work. Again, you can buy the Cross RC drive shaft separately, but again, like 50 quid or something in the UK, which again is like $70. I thought, well, I'm not paying that much for drive shafts. I literally bought all of these drive shafts for $17 off AliExpress, which is like what? 12 quid, 13 quid, something like that. So much better than spending £50. So hopefully they should do the job. So that is where I'm up to the moment. It's currently Tuesday, early hours of the morning. SST, the Southern Scale Trail event, is this weekend coming. So I did want to get this thing finished, ran, so I could test run it before SST. But yeah, we'll have to see how we do for time. I'm going to carry on 3D printing this interior so we can get that finished. Then I can put the windows in, get the doors fitted, we can do the weathering, and then hopefully I can get it assembled, and I'll probably come back and show you some of the weathering, and then yeah, we can actually run this thing. Okay, so before I fit it, I just wanted to show you an update on the dashboard. I am super happy how this has turned out. So I basically just stuck on some stickers that I had from an old interior set I've got at AliExpress. And then I did a bit of paint, so just some like red and some blue, even put like man on the steering wheel. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. I think that has completely transformed it. You know, before it just looked fairly plain and basic, whereas now I think it actually looks like a dashboard, which is like really, really cool. And then I've also printed those 3 seats. So we've now got 4 seats in the truck. I fit the driver's seat as well, ready for Rick. And yeah, I've just basically fitted the 3 seats in there. I've just chucked a couple of like accessory boxes in, and you might have guessed the kind of theme we're going for. But yeah, just done a little bit of kind of like mild weathering just on the seats and the boxes. You won't see most of it through the windows and stuff, but we've got those in there. And I've put some stickers on the back. We've got a number plate on there. Yeah, I am going to go for a bit of a zombie theme. I'm a massive zombies fan. Used to love The Walking Dead before it got rubbish. So yeah, we're going to do, well, I'm going to do some weathering. I'm going to try and do some, well, I won't spoil it. I'll just show it to you when it's done. But yeah, next thing to do now is I've got to get the windows fitted, get the dashboard in there, get the doors on, well, obviously get Rick in there as well, get the doors on there, and then we are going to go to town and weather it. What I'll probably do is I'll weather kind of like the most of it so I can show you, and then I'll take you through like weathering one side just so you can see how I've done it. For regular viewers of the channel, you've probably seen me weather some stuff before, but yeah, just for those people that are interested, I'll just quickly go through how I do it. I have stuck a couple of other stickers on there as well. I'm undecided as to whether I like these on there or not. I'm going to weather those as well so they don't look so clean and shiny. There are a load more stickers on this sticker sheet I got as well, just got off eBay. Most of them I'm not really fussed on, to be honest. I might stick a couple of these ones on there because they're all right. And I may possibly stick a Please do not feed the zombie sticker on there, just for a laugh. But otherwise, the majority of them I'm not going to use. Okay, we've made some progress. Doors are on, Rick is in, we've got the dashboard in. I've done some weathering on the other sides. I haven't really touched this side yet, so I can show you the difference. So that is the front now weathered, so you can see it just looks a bit dirty. Excuse the ring light. We got some blood stains on there and stuff like that. I did also do, might be hard to see, there you go with the light shining on it. I did also do some like cracks in the windscreen and stuff like that. And then that is the weathered side. So I even tried to do some little handprints and stuff, and yeah, it looks a bit better. It's a bit hard to see a massive difference with this because of the colour. If you want to see how much weathering can really transform your rig, then check out my JT4, my Cross RC JT4 build, Old Fugly. That started out really cheap looking, really plastic. I weathered it and did all the detailing for the shut lines, and it completely transformed it. But anyway, just to show you, in case you are interested, you can still see the process. Now, I'm not going to patina it. It's just going to be a bit of weathering just to make it look a bit dirtier, and yeah, just, you know, a bit used. So what I use to weather mine is these Tamiya weathering master kits. You can get them off like Amazon, stuff like that. The main ones I use is this B and the C version. The B one I mainly use like the soot color to make it look a bit dirty and stuff like that. A little bit of the rust just to give it a little bit of kind of like low level rust or dirt kind of effect. And if you want to go super rusty, then use the orange rust. I also use the silver. You might be able to see I have done this little bit here. I do the silver on some of the edges to make it look like it's scuffed. That seems to work quite nicely. Again, I'm no weathering expert, so this is just what I do. They do come included with a little brush. You've got two ends to it. You've got the brush end, which is what you mostly use, and then you've got the little kind of like pad sponge end, which if you use that dry, you can do some nice kind of like lines and stuff like that. But yeah, I use a little bit of water and put them on wet. I'll show you all of this in a second. You want some water, which as you can see is pretty mank now. And for some details, you're also going to want like a fine brush. That's so you can do some of like the shut lines and stuff like that. Again, a bit hard to see on this rig, but I will show you anyway. First of all, we're going to get our weathering kit open. We're going to get our little brush out, okay? And then what I do is I just get the brush nice and wet, dab off the kind of excess on the side. And then you're going to get your little soot colour. You're going to just dip it in. You can see it's nice and wet, and you're literally just going to plaster it on. If you don't like it, you could literally wipe it off, because at this point, you know, it comes off nice and easily. But we're just going to chuck it on. We're going to get some more. We're going to chuck it on. Don't be afraid to lash it on. In my opinion, you can't really weather wrong, to be honest. Just give it a go and you'll be surprised at the results. Once you've done it kind of twice, you'll need to wet your brush again. Let's move that so you can see it, and then a bit more wet. And then we'll chuck some more up there. Again, like I said, just plaster it on. Get a bit more in there. Plaster it on. And then we're just going to keep doing that until we have completely covered everything. I'm going to chuck a bit on there as well, just for good luck. And then we're going to get our paper towel, and you're literally just going to dab it. So if I just turn it a bit so you can see. So we're just going to dab away. Now, the longer you leave it between dabbing, the harder it will be to dab it off. But just dab, dab, dab. Okay, and once you finish dabbing, it'll look something like that. Again, like I said, it's really hard to see. The easiest thing now to see is like the sticker down the bottom. So, you know, we've just made it look a bit dirty. You can still see it, but the idea is, you know, it's used. Now, if you wanted to use some different colors, like the rust colors and stuff, you could put some of that on. Again, just do the same thing, just put it on wet. Now, if you don't like it, just literally just wet your brush or wet your paper towel and just rub it off. Dead easy. So now what we're going to do is do some of the shut lines. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wet the brush, but we're not going to do it as wet. So we're just going to pop the brush in the water. We're going to dab it off so it's not too wet. And then again, we're going to get our soot color. We're going to get a nice bit on the brush. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to run it along the shut lines. So my hand is not very steady, as you can see. Now, like I said, it's really hard to see there, but you might be able to see it's basically giving it a bit of shading. It gives it a bit of depth. So I'm just going to carry on and do the rest of that for a moment. Hopefully you get the idea. I'm also going to do like the shut lines around the door. So like around these edges here. I normally go around like the hinges and stuff like that. Also along the seam where it comes down here. So anywhere there's a crease effectively is what you want to be trying to do just to give it a bit of depth. And like I said, on a brighter color, it'll be much more effective. Okay, so that is all the shut lines and everything done. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to add a bit more blood on this side, you know, because we've got some blood on the front and a few different places. And obviously, as this is meant to be like a zombie truck, we're going to stick a bit more. So I'm just going to do a little bit on like the handle, maybe a bit around the wheel arch, you know, where we've kind of ran over some zombies, and possibly a little bit on the sticker down there. So what we're going to do for that... So I just use this Tamiya red acrylic paint, and then with that same brush you used a moment ago, what I do is do a bit of dry brushing. So we're not going to stick it on wet. What we're going to do is I generally use the lid for dry brushing. So we're just going to dab the paintbrush in the paint. So we've got some paint on there. Then we're going to get our paper towel and we're just going to dab it off so it's not so wet. And then wherever you want to do the blood, just basically just touch over it a bit. So just lightly brush over it. Okay, and then hopefully you can see that again. It's really hard on some of these colours, but yeah, you're just giving it just a little kind of feathering over. So we'll do a little bit on the light as well. Just pretend, you know, we've ran over a few zombies, splattered everywhere. Again, it's hard to see sometimes, but when you get the finished product, you know, it actually looks really cool because you've got all those little bits of detail. Now, if you want to do a hand like I did as well, then wet your brush. This time you actually want a bit of paint on there, not too much, but a bit of paint on there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do like the hand shape. So we're just going to, where should we do it? We'll do it up here as if they're reaching for the window, shall we? So basically we're just going to do like a little section just down here, which would be like the palm of the hand, and then a bit up here, which would be the next part of the hand, and then just some little fine lines just for the rest of the hand. Hopefully you can see that. It might be really hard to see, but yeah, just a basic kind of hand really. And then again, if we want to do some blood around like the wheel arches and that, as if we ran some people over, again, just get the paint on your brush, dab it off. I just dabbed it off with a little bit of different paper towel, and then just pick a corner and just gently chuck it on. Swap your brush around if you need to, like swap the sides rounds. Get some more paint. Again, I just use the lid, and then especially if you use the lid, you're not really dirtying your paint either. And then again, we're just going to stick a bit more on down here. And there we go. Now we got some blood on the wheel arches. It's probably going to be much easier to see this when I've finished it and you see it in the daylight. But yeah, hopefully you're getting the gist. Okay, so I am pretty happy with that, to be honest. You know, I mean, I kind of do wish I'd gone for that yellow now, to be honest, but you know, it's purple now. Okay, that's what it's going to be. So yeah, let me know. I quite like the stickers on the front as well. You know, just gives it a bit more character, I suppose. You know, just breaks up the color a little bit. So I'm going to get this finished. What I then do basically is once this has dried, I just lacquer it with a flat lacquer and just very gently just spray it over, because with the Tamiya weathering paints, they wash off. So if you don't seal it with some lacquer, and I would go for a flat lacquer because otherwise a gloss is obviously going to make it all shiny, which you kind of don't want to do. But yeah, once you just give it a coat, I just do like one gentle coat, really, of flat lacquer, and that should be enough to seal it, so then you can run it through mud and water and stuff like that. Okay, we are outside with the MC8 finally. It is pretty much finished. Couldn't decide what to stick on the rear bed, so for the moment we're just going to run it empty while I decide what I'm going to stick on there. I got the man badge on the front as well and just did a little bit of kind of like a dry brushed blood on there as well. I think the main thing I'm disappointed with so far, to be honest, is my windows. You can see all the little finger marks on there basically. When I was trying to hold them on to glue on, because I was having so many problems with this glue, I didn't realise at the time, but you know, once it's dried, I've got all those little finger marks over it. So it's a bit annoying, but you know, that's my lack of building skills, to be honest. But what I have done is, you can see I've done all the kind of like weathering on the window, so it looks like the windscreen wiper's been going at least. But yeah, just a bit of a shame about all the marks. We got all the LED lights working, hazards flashing away on the side, and then we got our tail lights and our hazard lights flashing on the rear as well. The rear ones seem to be a bit temperamental. They worked the first time I turned it on, then they didn't work the second time I turned it on, and now they're working again, so they're a bit touch and go. I also did some weathering on the wheels as well, just a little bit of like dry brushing with some brown enamel paint, and then I did a little bit of kind of like a red for, you know, as if it's run over a load of zombies. Obviously we need the tyres to get a bit muddy and stuff like that, but yeah, I am pretty happy with how it's turned out. I think it was certainly a big old building experience, that's for sure. But anyway, it's Friday now, SST is tomorrow, so I want to basically run this thing now to make sure that everything's okay, nothing breaks, ready for taking it to the event tomorrow. So first things first, let's test out our trail speed with that single speed gearbox and the brushless system. So we'll just crawl along first of all a bit. Now I think my mesh is a bit tight, to be honest, on the motor. It's quite noisy. And let's give it some full throttle. Oh, that's a pretty decent turn-in circle. Oh, yes. That is pretty sweet, fair dues. Now, one thing you might see when we hit the wood section in a minute and find some obstacles to drive over, I did also take the little helper springs out of the shocks, but also the main thing I found was there was too much oil in them. I like my suspension quite soft, to be honest, and what I was finding, to be honest, is the shocks couldn't fully compress, and each one was different, so I just took a little bit of the oil out of them, and now there's much more movement. So we'll have to see if it's too soft, but yeah, hopefully it'll give us some nice scale movement and some flex. Okay, let's start off nice and gentle, shall we? See what clearance is like. Yeah, definitely need to adjust that mesh. Oh, a bit of flex straight away. Go on, work those axles. That's not bad. Now, what I was hoping with this thing being an 8x8 is that it should be able to just pull off some pretty sweet lines just with all those axles. Oh, struggling for tyre grip there on the front. It has been raining. Come on, let's see if we can, without breaking it, give it a bit of a hop. Okay, we'll take a slightly different line. I don't want to break it after like 3 seconds. Come on, you, get up there. Oh, we're stuck on a route, hang on. I think as much as it's going to be like really capable from the 8x8, I think it might struggle a bit with ground clearance. Oh, there we go, look, working those axles, come on. Oh, we got a nice bit of flex going on that rear axle. Come on, get some bite, there you go. Come on. Up through these roots. It does look cool, fair dues. My first proper 8x8. We're struggling with grip on those tyres, to be fair, considering we've got 8-wheel drive. That's a bit lame, isn't it? And you can see the rear axles are slipping a bit there as well. Come on, I don't have to like hop everything, because obviously with the brushless system I don't want to put too much pressure on the axles and the drive shafts, because we're still running those plastic drive shafts. There we go. Oh, nice bit of axle movement there on the second axle. Come on, get up there. Maybe we might need to invest in some better tyres. I was hoping these tyres would be decent, but they're struggling. She's definitely noisy. That kind of almost sounds like a bit of diesel turbo whistle, maybe. That's what I was going for, you see. It's like coming from big stacks, that's what we need on there. Just for a laugh, let's do our rooting tooting that we normally do with the mini crawlers and see how capable this massive 8x8 is. I think we are going to struggle with the tyres. Oh, look at that, straight up and over. Oh, look, there we go, look, tyres are struggling a bit there. I think we're getting caught up on the axles as well. Come on, power through. It's like an angry cat. Oh man, these tyres are pretty pants. Come on. I mean, yeah, there's not much squish either in those tyres. I think they need to be softer and a bit more grippy. So it's definitely one of the first upgrades we're going to do, I think, is change the wheels and tyres. Come on, get up there. This is pretty shocking considering a mini crawler can get up here. Again, I don't want too much hopping because oh, my life. Oh, this is off to a good start, isn't it? Come on, come on. Oh, we're just getting caught with the gap between the two axles. Oh, it's close to our first tip over. Okay, we made it. Man, the grip on these tyres is rubbish. And now we're grounding out. Now it's the downside to all those axles is obviously the gap between them. Oh, look at that lift in the front. I don't know if you can see there. That is pretty sweet. Come on. Oh, we're getting hung up. Yay, made it. Bit of power. Throttle through. Oh, I like that. Look, front axle's off the ground. Other three axles are flexing away. Yes. Go on. I reckon with some better tyres, this thing would be absolutely awesome. Oh, look at that axle movement. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, the front wheel's lifted off. Yes. Okay, now we're starting to tick the boxes for me. That is looking pretty sweet. Nice. Just trying to compete with my TRX4 for the Screamer. This might be a nice little spot. I do like the slow crawl from the brushless system though. Oh yes, look at the axles. That's what I'm talking about. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's so cool with the two-wheel steering on the front as well. It definitely needs to be like four-wheel steered, or eight-wheel steered, doesn't it? That would be absolutely epic if we could like crab crawl it and everything. That'd be so cool. Now for me, this is what it's all about. Look, working those axles, slow crawling up here. Love that articulation. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. And the way it drops down then, that's so good. Look at the rear axles as well. Oh, love it. Love it. It's like mini scale flex for days, isn't it? Oh, and then we get scale life, look, stuck on the center point. Oh, gearbox. Come on. Oh, the downside to an 8x8. As much as it's like, you know, with some better tyres, I think it'll be super capable, but ground clearance is going to be our main problem, I think. But I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far. Oh, look at that. Our wheels are pretty much submerged. Now, I'm hoping nothing breaks on this thing because it's pretty heavy and the walk of shame will be a bit, it'll suck, to be honest. Oh, nice. Working those axles. Nice bit of a slow crawl. Well, what I'm aiming for is there's a bank climb just down the stream, which I was kind of hoping this thing would be able to make it through. I'm not sure if it will, but we will give it a try. I definitely need to have a look at that mesh because it is noisy. Nice. Oh yeah, there we go, look. Oh, just coming into the light. Oh, that was a sweet shot. I do love the slow crawl on these Fusion SEs as well. This is the 1800 kV, if I didn't say, so you know, we've got a decent bit of wheel speed, especially if we had the 2-speed gearbox. Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That is nice. There's lots of scraping going on underneath. I think that gearbox cover is going to be a bit scraped to pieces, but that's what it's there for. Let's start off on a more gentle hill climb, see if we can get up here. I'm not convinced it's going to get up any of them, to be perfectly honest, but oh, go on, 8x8 power, if we can keep that axle over there. Go on, go on. Yes, go on. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Sweet. It's so noisy. I don't know how well you could hear it on the microphone, but It's proper moaning at me. One of the things I love when you see these things on like the TV and stuff is like when they're descending stuff, how that front just kind of like lifts in the air and then drops over. Again, I might really regret this scene in a moment, but oh, that rear is lifting. Don't fall on your face, please. Nice and controlled. Oh, yes. That was literally what I was going for. That is so cool. Go on, and again, bring the rear axle down. Oh, the squish on the, well, not the squish, how much the wheel is tucking on that front axle. Maybe I shouldn't have taken out those sulfur springs, but oh, look at that. Lovely slow speed descent there. I am really enjoying this so far. It definitely needs like a few upgrades on it, you know, better tires and stuff, but I am really enjoying just how it looks and how it moves. Okay, so the big bank climb I was going to attempt is this one, which I was really hoping it would get up. I mean, there's quite a ridge there now where it's kind of eroded over a bit of time. It used to be a really cool bank climb. I'm going to give it a little go, tentatively, because I don't want to destroy this thing. Right, let's see if we can even make it up the first section, shall we? Oh, working those axles again. I think we're probably going to struggle with the tires, to be honest. Oh, look at that going up there. Oh, go on, go on, go on. Oh, yes, go on, get over the axle. Oh, that's getting a bit close to teeing on the edge. We need that front right tire just to go over that little bit of stone that's sticking out. Go on, get turned around. Go on, 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 go on. Get over there. Ah, we're struggling with that tyre grip, man. It's tyres just aren't very good, are they? Which I know if you go for like the B and the C models, you get better tyres. I think these are the basic tyres. Oh, we're not even gonna get the first bit. I mean, I'll try and lift it up in a minute and get up there, but oh, oh, come on. That is literally going to fall on this side in a second. Okay, I'll move it. So that's kind of where I wanted it to get to, and then to get up and over. But even, look, when I've placed it there, look, we just don't have the tyre grip. You can see, look, it is just churning away at the mud. Even with a bit of wheel speed, I don't think we're going to get up there. Oh, that was close. Oh, that's just going to come tumbling down in a second, isn't it? Okay, back on level ground before it ends in tears and I cry my little heart out after all the hours I've put into this thing. If anybody's got any recommendations of some tyres that would be, I want to try and keep them that kind of truck scale look. That's actually not too bad, look. When it's not too steep, they're all right. But yeah, I want to try and keep them that kind of truck style. So if anybody's got any recommendations on some tyres that you think would suit it, then let me know. I'd possibly change the wheels as well for some metal wheels just to give us a bit of low down weight, but I want to keep them a similar kind of truck style. See, for me, this is the type of areas where these things are really good fun to run them. Just, you know, over some routes, working those axles, you know, bank climbs and stuff. You can see every now and again, like the front kind of jams up a little bit. I'm not sure how long those drive shafts are going to last, to be honest, the plastic ones. They're doing all right so far, but I reckon if we did some rock crawling, tyres, man. I reckon if we did some rock crawling, they probably would be in pieces within minutes, I reckon. Oh, look at that. Nice slow crawl. Stuck on the gearbox again. Even though we got 8x8, look, we are still struggling. Like a 4x4 would get over there, no problem. But we got 8x8 scale life. I do really like that turning circle you get from having both front wheels steer as well. That's a nice turning circle. Look at that. Down she comes. Oh, just skim the floor. Oh, so cool. Let's see if it can make it up here. Again, I think we're going to struggle with the tyres, to be honest, but they're really rubbish tyres, to be fair. I don't know if anybody else has had any success with these, but maybe with some softer foams or some silicones, but they are not doing a great job, are they? Oh, look, now they're trying to show off. Oh, look at that. There's a nice bit of digging into the soil there. We're going to have to probably give it a bit of wheel speed. Come on. Obviously, with so many wheels, we're stuck on the roots in so many different places. Let's give it a little hop. Brushless power. Oh, she's a squealer. Nice. Now, they didn't last long. I didn't think they would, to be fair, but just snapped it just trying to climb up a bank just off camera. Yeah, got the other piece, but I'm going to have to see if maybe I can trim down one of those metal drive shafts for tomorrow now, give myself more work to do. But yeah, I don't think that's meant to do that. Whoops. Okay, we finally made it to SST. We are here on the Saturday. There was a bit of late night fixing at like 2 o'clock in the morning last night, but we are finally here. I fitted the metal drive shafts, I had to fix the steering as well. Yeah, been a bit of fun and games, but we are here to enjoy it. So let's give it a little run on some of the trail and have some fun with this thing at SST. Oh yes, that's what we like. Axle hanging over. Oh, scrapey on the body. Oh, push on through, come on. I'm not sure this is going to last very long today. Oh, nice. We're holding up the line, we're going so slow. We got the Mac from Cross RC over here as well. Check that out, how cool is that, look? We've got the Mac. Got the MC8. We're just trying out the ultra scale or the super scale course at the moment, so it's a bit more gentle, you know, some nice climbs and stuff like that. So at least we can just have some fun without hopefully breaking them within like 3 seconds, but we'll see. Bit of a painful build, to be quite honest. I am still enjoying just watching it move, and it's things like this where you've got like climbs and stuff. Oh look, straight away get stuck. Oh my life. Come on. Ah, yeah, I don't think this body's going to last very long today. Come on. Yes. That's what we're talking about. Go on, up you go. We're definitely going to need some better tyres. Again, we're getting stuck on that gearbox. Look, it's causing us some grief, isn't it? I love it when the front is lifted, though. It's just so cool. But yeah, considering it's an 8x8, look, it's not doing great, is it? Oh, let's see if we can bring it across to the left a bit. Get that tyre on. Come on. Come on. Oh, my life. There we go. When in doubt, throttle out. We definitely need some better tyres. Show us how it's done. Even with that big, what's it, like a ship cabin on the back. My words aren't coming out today. He's working it. Yes. Oh, so close. Go on. Wiggle those wheels. Oh, so close. Yay, well done. Oh, we just spotted another Cross RC as well. That actually looks really cool. That's nice.
Sport vehicle look in front.
Yeah, ready for recoveries.
Yeah. Waiting for a pin to go.
Yeah. That is nice. That's the great thing about coming to this event. You get to see all the cool trucks and everything. This looks like a pretty cool section. I have tried adjusting the mesh. I have tried adjusting the mesh until I'm blue in the face. I've gapped it. I've done the whole, like, you know, wiggle test, you know, make sure if it's clicking. I've tried the paper. Just nothing seems to want to make this thing quiet. So if you've got any tips for oh, look at that, sorry. Oh, I love those axles lifting. Yeah, if you've got any tips for adjusting the mesh on the Cross RC vehicles, you know, so they're not so noisy, or is it just they're just noisy, you know? It does look like it's a metal spur, I think, as well, so obviously that's going to make it a bit noisier, but if you've got any tips, then let me know in the comments. Obviously the first one I've ever built, so been a bit of an experience. Well, this is a nice, cool section. These are some of the things I love about this event. There's so many hill climbs and some really cool stuff you can take on. And that is pretty sweet, especially for, like, you know, the scale course section. You know, you can still have a bit of a challenge. Ah, nice, straight up there. 8x8 power, big leaf in the way. It's like we're driving along the edge of a mountain. That's pretty cool. We've got a bridge coming up as well. Oh, my body. Oh, gotta be careful we don't slip an axle off there. I could end in tears. Nice. Cross the bridge. Very nice. I'm not sure how long this body's going to survive, to be honest. Oh, look at that flex. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then we got a nice little hill climb here as well. Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, dipped a tyre in at the end. Guess who's Mac? Mac again, yeah. Wayne got it. Nicely done. Such an awesome looking rig. We've got another bridge to cross. I love all these little bridges and everything, especially when you've got like a scale rig like this. It's just awesome, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Nose was just kind of scraping over there. Nice. Yeah, if you've never been to the Southern Scale Trail event, it's a fantastic event. This ultra scale section they've got now is a fairly new addition. They just added it last year. They've expanded on it this year as well. But for your more kind of scale rigs, it is just so cool. It's such a nice place to come and crawl. And this is just the scale bit. You've got rock crawling, you've got gnarly woods and everything as well. Oh, we like a bit of wheel spin. We definitely need better tyres, but we like a bit of wheel spin. Oh, nice, we just dug some holes. Yes, there we go. I'm looking forward to trying this thing with some better tyres. Getting close to the end, we've got another hill climb. We'll work those tyres. Oh. Oh, now we're stuck on the axle. Scale life. Yes. Well, we are back from the Southern Scale Trail event. I had an awesome time. We were really lucky with the weather on Saturday. The Sunday, we had thunder and lightning. It absolutely hammered down. It was a proper washout. But I was really glad I got the MC8 ready for the event. It was the perfect place for it, really, especially with their ultra scale area. If you haven't been to the event before, if you're in the UK or even Europe, it's definitely worth the trip. It is such a cool event. You know, I am happy with how the MC8 has turned out. You know, I'm pretty happy with the colour scheme and everything and what I did to it. I really liked my interior and everything that I did. I can't say I enjoyed the building experience, to be perfectly honest, you know, mainly because of the issues that I had with the glue. The two glues I tried was this plastic kit glue and then this plastic magic. They both said they were suitable for ABS plastic. They're both cements, but yeah, I just found them both to be pretty rubbish, to be honest. Even once they'd set, you could literally just pull the panels apart, whereas my understanding was using one of the cements, it should have actually like molded the bits of plastic together. A few people said to me I should use Plasti-Weld, so I'm going to have a look at that. But if you've got any suggestions for a better glue for, you know, this type of rig, you know, where it's like thicker, heavier plastic and so on, then let me know. You know, it'd be great to hear your feedback. But, you know, seeing it move and everything on the trail, that suspension movement, the way the front just lifted and then dropped down and everything, that was ticking all the boxes for me. It was really, really cool. Overall, I'm happy with how the body and everything turned out. I'm still undecided what to do with the rear bed. I do want to do a follow-up video because I want to try some different tyres because these tyres are just too firm. They were really struggling. It was the main thing that let this rig down, in my opinion. Now, I know you can get, I think, different tyres on the B and the C versions, but yeah, they were just really, really stiff and just didn't seem to have much grip. You know, I was quite surprised considering it was an 8x8, all those axles and everything, it did struggle on quite a lot of the terrain. The other thing thing I'm probably going to do is I might just put the helper springs or maybe some heavier oil just in the front axle, because I did notice that every now and again when it kind of dropped down, it did kind of like crash out on the front. So either maybe just put some more oil in there, or like I said, heavier oil, or put the helper springs back in, or internal springs, whatever you want to call them, just back in on that front axle, and then hopefully that'll help that so it doesn't kind of crash down so much. I can't remember if I already said or not. It's quite a long video, so if you're still with me, thank you. But yeah, I can't remember if I said or not, but I did manage to kind of make the front align up a bit better. All I actually did was just use some of the spare seats I had that I'd made for the interior, cut them into squares, and then basically just propped them behind the body and glued them in place, just to kind of like push it forward and then hold it in place. And it survived a few like bashes on the rocks and stuff like that, because I was a bit disappointed, you know, with the way that front end was popping in. It did seem to me like the body was warped. I think I mentioned it earlier. I appreciate you need to do a bit of kind of model building and a bit of skill with these things. The other thing I was a bit gutted about was my windows. You know, I really wanted to have really nice windows. I mean, when it rained, they all just misted up, which I suppose is realistic. But yeah, I was just a bit gutted. Again, I suppose my fault for using the wrong glue maybe, but I was a bit disappointed that they all kind of missed up. So again, lesson learned for next time. I mean, I would definitely say if you're considering getting one, then go for like the B or the C versions if you can, because obviously having like the extra bits like the, you know, the metal axles, the better tires, 2-speed gearbox. Although to be fair, with the brushless system, I didn't mind just having the single speed so much. You know, it had a decent amount of wheel speed. The only thing is obviously when you're kind of like a more of a quicker kind of trail run, having it in first gear, you know, adds to the noise. Because yeah, I mean, this thing was screaming its nuts off. To be fair, there were quite a few other Cross RC rigs at the Sunscale Trail event, and they all sounded just as bad. So it kind of put my mind at ease that it wasn't my really bad mesh on the pinion. I mean, if you haven't built one before and you're considering getting one, the instructions were pretty easy to follow. There were a few things that I did think they were wrong, because you'd look at it and it'd be talking about like axle 1, and then it was like, well, hang on, do you mean axle 2 here? Because I've just done axle 1. So, you know, you got to take the instructions with a little bit of a pinch of salt, I suppose, but overall they were pretty decent. And it wasn't really a hard rig to build. It was just quite time consuming. But again, maybe if I had better glue, the body wouldn't have been so time consuming. Building this one has put me off doing another one a little bit, but I've wanted a HC6 for as long as I can remember. They're really hard to get now. So I do really still want to try like a HC6. You know, hopefully I can learn from this experience. And again, if people have got recommendations for better glue or any tips, then let me know. One person did mention at the event about shimming the axles. So maybe I could have a look at that to see if that reduces the noise possibly. I also do really still want to get one of those DC8s, but they've just come out with the other one now, which I think is still an 8x8, but it's got like the twin cab. I can't remember what the model number is, but it looks awesome, but it's even more expensive. I mean, for what I paid for it, I am happy with it. And you know, it does look cool. I love the way it moved and everything. And I definitely want to do a follow-up video on it. It definitely needs some better tires. I think really it needs a sound unit in there, maybe a smoke system on it as well. And obviously I still want to do something with the rear bed. I'm just undecided what to do. Anyway, enough waffling from me. Overall, really happy with it. I'm really happy I have my first 8x8. I've wanted an 8x8 for as long as I can remember, and I have my first 8x8, and it is cool. Let me know what you think of the MC8 and what I've done with it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? You know, any tips or anything like that, or anything that you think I should have done differently? If you'd like to see more of the MC8 or other scale rigs like this on the channel, then let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this probably very long video, then give us a like. And if you've got it, try out that new hype feature if you'd like other people to discover my videos and my channel. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.